Obama Foundation being investigated for giving money to Tides. Soros being investigated for giving money to organizations that commit left-wing terrorism. James Comey indicted. Yes, we voted for that. We voted for all of this. A lot of this information was actually stuff that everybody knew. Everybody knew what James Comey had gotten up to. That there was FOIA requests, so that at some point it fundamentally comes down to, at some point we're going to find that there's somewhere buried deep in the FBI smoking gun documents. And so now what people had known, now we're getting the confirming documents and such. So there's not really a debate about this. There's nothing that the left, any leftist brohams now, what they're dealing with is they have just no idea what they're talking about in so many situations, that they're now just behind constantly, always being backed up against the wall with accurate shots. And so they have to go berserko mode and bite and kick, because they can't, they can't box proper, really. And that's what now we're starting to find is the various not so cricket organizations that they're starting to form now, so they could go and riot every place. 50501 is one of them that's popped up apparently from Reddit. Karlin Boryasenko is doing fantastic work exposing what the leftists are conniving, getting up to. They want to do a general strike by 2028. The only way that they could pull this off would mean that they have people, fundamentally people in the high-ups in the union houses that are going to try to just fuck things up until then. And so the NLRB is going to hit their, everybody knew the NLRB was going to have to get the fucking ass kicking. But now it's, we're going to have to wear out the NLRB. Trump's going to have to put people that the Teamster guy thinks is solid, so that the unions, because the unions were supporting mass amnesty. The unions have been key, SEIU, and that work at universities. They've been key in helping plan riots. This has got to get fleshed out by was it Donnelly? I gotta look his name up. But he's got to figure these people out. He's got to figure out how to get that kind of stuff out of there, or make it such that such things just no, that's not what's going on anymore. Arguing for good benefits for people is one thing, but you guys are taking it someplace that you're going to sink the union cause forever. Yeah, and there's this part of me that's like some form of balancing things out throughout various types of trades that do require sort of this weird area of both employment, but I'm like, no, there's some things that you could really stick people because of how much they have to invest in the job to do it. And so I'm like, I get why you would have then some kind of way that people organize for benefits. And I'm like, but then there's this part of me, I'm like, but in my thinking though, and now it coming from a union shop, I'm seeing it. That this is the interesting thing. Unions are figuring out, well, okay, hold on. With the internet and all this, why don't we just put lots and lots of courses and get the company and us will work together to get people interested in these courses. The more that they take them on an internal system. But it's like, no. And then what it turns out, a lot of, like, say, the certification people, they've gone along with this. So you get actual, real CEUs. If you go through this whole, like, various course and train in this, and this is something that can be done on, like, the company's website with your employee account, and you could do it anytime you want. You don't have to be at work. It's up to you if you want to train higher. And then once you get your cert and everything or whatever, you get it's like the company recognizes it. This is a fantastic method. It's just that there's some courses that I'm slogging through, and things I've just been slogging through in personal projects that now are kind of coming to fruition, that I'm like, yes, now I actually have a fantastic steady workspace. That I could physically sit in a position of relative comfort for a long period of time now, so the thing that I've thought about it. I'm like, yeah, this is fantastic. And this makes sense. I thought that was kind of how unions worked. They were constantly trying to enroll you into some kind of training for something that was not so much just critical to the job, keeping up the standards that the employer wants. No, you heard this, but actually, like, learning new things. And so now, no, it turns out that they're using educational internet tools as well. Everybody is clearly, that's the idea of the near future, is to have people using educational internet tools to constantly learn new specializations and new general skills. That pretty much seems to be where it's at and where it's going to be and where it's going to go. And so the autodidactic types, they're going to really excel, like Aaron Clarey has talked about. Israel's backing itself into a pretty fucked up position. Already Netanyahu has brought up autarky, economic autarky, and I know a lot of you are going to just, seriously, and it's like, yes, dude, exactly. No, it's not going to work. Israel can produce a lot of what it needs, but it's just this idea that no, it'll be all good with them having to produce everything for themselves. No, it won't. It's going to be all fucked up. I'm thinking that the next, 2 years, this is going to be where you really do encounter the, oh no, fuck all that shit, from the United States citizens toward Antifa, the left. And I'm thinking because it's got to break. There's got to be basically the break with the ugly girls. The ugly girls have to fundamentally get shunned. So the pretty girls are going to do it. They will naturally shun the ugly girls because they're like, no, you consistently keep us untouchable, and your ugly personality, your weird, this thing you guys have to do to yourselves to make you look weird, and because of your weird ideas in your head. Especially now that this poll came out where most men are interested in family formation. Okay, like this, I had forgotten about this. It came up, and I was like, oh yeah, but then I was like, I don't know if it was somebody had said this, but if you look at the popular culture from my time up until pretty recently, This idea that men are very excited in family formation is really a very interesting term, because that is not what Gen X really wanted. Gen X really wanted freedom and to have fun, quote unquote, and it's so yeah. So it's just very, very interesting, that turn in popular culture, and specifically among men. It's actually good. It shows that there's a righting of the ship, because a lot of women aren't getting. No, what you were dealing with was an era of time that everything in society was kind of grinning at, like slightly like enjoying the presence of this sort of bandit culture, this gangster culture, this Tupac is for us, and yeah, and sleazebag and things like that, and so after all these complaints, oh my God, these men, they're so sleazy, ew, they're sleazy and they do things and I don't like it. And it's like, okay, well, well, what's going on? Like, what? Oh, well, I was dating this guy, and then I was dating this guy, and then I was dating this guy, and oh my God, why are all the men like this? And so, now that men no longer ask this anymore, and they're just like, oh yeah, you dated a sleazebag, huh? Fancy that. And now your world is fucking bent around his cock, and you'll never forget him. And so, and which I really, TikTok and a lot of this digital female complaint culture is showing me, like, oh God, there's just millions of women out there who are just, they just got fucked so hard, they're like a car with its frame dented. It's just, it moves differently after that last owner. It moves all cattywampus. The axle falls out of position every so often. Got to get adjusted every once in a while. I don't know what somebody really rode that one rough. It's so what else is going on? Catching people. More and more people are getting arrested. FBI, the J6 thing. Now we've got at least the FBI count 270 something on the ground. So we still don't know about the number. Remember, of CIA, admittedly, on the ground. It was 30 something. They still won't tell us the full number, if I remember correctly. But now we've got the number of the fucking spookies. So we don't know the glowies, but we know how many spookies were there. And that was 274 or 278 or something like that. And that it was a shit show. So the fact that there's this whole record of complaints and stuff about it shows that, okay, just like everybody kind of would have, that if somebody like me, I was waiting for this. I was like, the idea that this was a widespread thing, and we're gonna get these guys, like all the spookies all believed, if we just get these boys, then we won't have any more problems. We just get these here Duke boys. We just get that there Nick just Fuentes, and we get all his Groiper boys, and then we win. Won't have any more problems. It's kind of like, that it's too, in the name of Zion, Neo Zion, and I was like, no. I'm thinking we're going to find something that's going to give us now what we have. A record of complaints that show there was a bunch of people who just basically weren't in the club on the plan. So they end up on the ground there at the Capitol. And they're like, what is going on here? What, hello, anybody know what's going on here? And, and so that's its own interesting, like, because I mean, why would you do that? Like, you have to really think like kind of along criminal lines. This is either that this is relatively it's a cock up by people who they didn't really have their plan, and they're just like, I don't know, just throw a couple hundred down there, or is it that it's the kind of thing of, well, now there's Serpico too. Now they've been thrown into it, and they're going to have to make their choice on who they side with. And because, I mean, it has that quality. Do you get what I mean? Like, now, oh my God, what is this? What is this? Why? Why do they do things like this? What is this? Why? Why do you think this is effective? God damn it. Oh, well. So, but you get what I mean? Like, it's like the guy who pushes, he always thought it was funny to push you into other people. It's seeing if you could start, a bit of trouble or whatever. That kind of thing where the reason why you don't like it, of course, is because you're like, well, why did you push me into the guy? Like, what the hell? Like, what's your fucking problem? Why are you getting my ass kicked? And so I'm sitting here thinking, I'm thinking that's what's going on with the Spookies, is that these guys got totally. Ooh, did I? Yeah. Okay. Did I? All right. And so, that they're like, now you guys, it looks like you're involved. You're witnesses to all of this, and I'm sure you saw it the way that everybody's reporting it. I mean, shoot, you want to stay in the FBI, right? It was a good way of chilling everybody. By just chucking them in there, it's now they're getting jumped into the gang, whether they like it or not, I mean, it was just, it was the superpower of shit living incompetence. It looks like it could be a bit of both. Like they pulled a Homer in a way, but only for so long, because so many people were streaming it that a lot of us knew, like, oh, this is clearly a glow job. This is unreal. This looks like, East European stod. So, and the color revolution they had there. So, Obama Foundation being investigated over what it gave to the Tides organization. That I'm in. I haven't caught up to that one, but that's going to be a very, very. That's going to be pretty fascinating. I'm thinking. I'm looking forward to that disclosure. Outside of that, I don't know much else of what's going on. So I'll talk to you guys soon.